All right, I will try to do a car video, which I used to do a lot for vacations for the summer because I would get back to a parking garage in San Francisco or Oakland and get in my car and drive home. Haven't done that in such a long time. I have done that in Seattle, but not much because normally when it's more than a couple days, if it's more than 2 days, it's better just to take Uber there and train back. So I haven't done them in a long time. I got one coming up pretty soon because it's actually a same day trip. So I will do that in the sport of it because I'm actually charging the car a little bit. It doesn't get used very often, so the battery sometimes gets a little low, and it's still too new of a battery to replace it. However, I'm off subject. The subject was the Idaho trip. Idaho for a weekend. That was my 7th time this year, I think. So 9th trip there in a year, but my 7th for the year. And it was a quick weekend since I can't. I mean, this year is kind of different. Normally, I mean, in past years, from like all the past years, immediate family has been like a city away or a couple cities away, and now it's a state away. So I can't just drive over the same day of Thanksgiving and the same day as Christmas. It involves flights. I don't like to travel on chaos days if I can help it. I've been through that. I've been some of the worst travel ever, getting stuck at airports, having to get hotels, flight cancellations. That still could happen again. But if I can avoid it, I avoid it. So I said, no, I'll come out early. So I came out for Thanksgiving a weekend early. And it's just a date. So I will be going somewhere else for this Thanksgiving. So some friends locally where I can drive one city away. So anyway, that was the purpose of this trip. So I flew up Friday. I got, and I didn't do any videos, like long videos of the trip. I was just too tired at night. And, so I'm doing one now. I flew up Friday night, and I think, the funny thing is these Idaho flights with my status now, they're usually upgraded probably several days early. It was just like 2 or 3 days early. So that's kind of cool, but they're such short flights. So the benefit of it is like a lot lower, but it's still nice. So upgraded, got to the airport now Friday night, had to take Uber there, and then, flight over, got an Uber ride to the house. It gets a little pricey, but that's okay. And then, then Saturday we went to the Warhawks Museum. Highly recommend it. A really, really nice place. There's great people, and you got a lot of volunteers, some veterans out there giving stories of Vietnam. I mean, obviously not World War II anymore, but Vietnam, maybe Korea. So some of that. So that's kind of a treat when you get out there. You get to hear some of the stories. But you haven't had a lot of time. It's a lot to see there. So highly recommend it. It's a place I have to really go back to because it would like to kind of see more of the exhibits and sit down. One of the cool things is the books, and just they have a lot of stuff you can't touch. But then there's stuff like, please look at this book. So they have like scrapbooks and picture books where they've written out their stories, or people have donated items. So there's a lot of stuff like that where you can read, but it takes a lot of time, of course. And one thing you notice is the paragraphing isn't. I mean, people are like, they're veterans, they're like war heroes. They're not, writers. So a lot of the stuff is like, this could be, it's like self-written. So if it was done by a publicist in a book, it would probably be polished up a little. Anyway, I'm not critiquing it. I'm just saying it can be harder to read that way when you have stuff written out that way. It's harder to read. But it takes a little extra work. It's not like I can't do a little extra work. And after that, model homes, I gotta say, it's shocking the amount of homes that cost less than my single bedroom condo are. Instead of 800 square feet, you get pretty much 2,000 square feet, several bedrooms, a huge kitchen, land. It's just amazing. I mean, it boggles. And that was even priced more than it was a few years ago. It's just so crazy. Anyway. But, there's pros and cons to that. Anyway, after that, dinner, a Scrabble, 3 games, won them all. And then some Netflix. And then, Sunday would have been a drive to like this, like Walton's Ferry or something like that. It's really, really neat place out there where you kind of see like a lot of figurines and carvings. And it's just a very kind of a cool, I don't know, exhibits and stuff like that. A little bit of an old town feeling, kind of recreations of old buildings. So that's kind of nice. It's just is it cool? Because it was like cold and windy. Not that I normally like cold and windy, but being cold and windy and almost wintry, or late fall at least, there was like nobody there almost. It was like almost deserted. So that kind of added to the feeling of it. It was almost Twilight Zone-ish, I said. That was a neat thing. Actually, those kind of places are really cool to check out. then yeah, another dinner, another Sunday night. Yeah, had to get back to the airport, and another flight back. That one was upgraded to first class too, and it went in pretty well. It was like kind of thing where you had two on one side and one on the other side. So the first, it's then you have nobody on the side of you get that, and I got that. So I think I was able to select that. So yeah, it's kind of cool that not only you're not sharing at all. You have to get up to the restroom, go up to the restroom. You basically both an aisle seat and a window seat at the same time. So I get to look out the window, but I got free access to the aisle. So those are fun, but those are only for small flights or private jets if you get that. So yeah, that happens on these short flights sometimes. So that was kind of cool. Didn't have it on going there, but had it coming back. So anyway, good trip, fast trip, and I got another one coming up. So yeah, wow, yeah, it's just. I guess the only, I mean, it is tiring, but the only negative thing is just, the airport experience just gets tiring after a while. It hasn't really been bad at all. Oddly, I have all these like lounge passes I can't use, or just not able to ever use because I'm always just getting to the airport and leave. I don't stick around the lounge. I don't stick around the airport if I don't have to, and I don't have any layovers right now. So yeah, and the airport. Funny thing is, the places where I get layovers are not places where they have Alaska lounges. Because although maybe I can get into a Emerald Lounge, I don't know. I should probably check that out more clearly. But I don't have any layovers coming up anyway, so I try to do direct flights whenever possible. Highly recommend that. All right, I guess that's it. Yeah, hopefully I got my car charged up to a high enough level, and I got my shopping done for Thanksgiving. I had to bring some wine, some nice wine. It's like nice wine. Oh man, I guess I had to spend money on that, but that's okay. And I guess that's about it for now. So till next time, which will be in a couple days.